Hello and welcome back to AOA TV. I'm your host, Olivia. Today we will be discussing social media and its effects on our society's overall functionality and well-being. Today I'm joined by guests Allie and Anna Osment. To start us off, Allie, how have you personally seen social media affect our generation?
Me personally, I can't do any homework or be any productive without my phone in a different room. And every day I think we all tell ourselves, oh, we'll get rid of it, we don't need it, I don't need Snapchat, I don't need Instagram. But then we feel that disconnect of not being involved with the social media community.
Yeah, I think for me personally, coming into college, my social media usage was really high. And then later on, I got a position with my sorority where I managed our social media. And I saw a lot of negative effects, a lot of anxiety, a lot of comparison, lack of motivation. Started limiting my social media a lot, putting time limits, implementing different things like that. And I saw a big improvement. And I think that that's just something that we all have to consider, like what's best for ourselves.
Absolutely. I feel like I've experienced a lot of my friends and peers just experience horrible feelings of mental health dilemmas and not a positive overall examination of their own personal character. And I don't know if you guys have seen the Social Dilemma documentary on Netflix, but it actually talks about, I believe it's called the dopamine reward cycle, that there actually is a chemical reaction that occurs in your brain when you pick up your phone and receive a notification, and that dopamine dwindles over time until you pick up your phone again. And so it's really interesting to look into the actual neurological cycle of what goes on in our brain and how we actually are a little bit of a slave to our phones and our social media.
Yeah, the New York Times called the social media use among adolescents an urgent public health issue that merits further investigation because of the increase in suicides in teens. What are y'all's thoughts on that? Do we agree?
Yeah, I agree. The American Psychological Association tells us that excessive media use in children has been associated with a number of undesirable health outcomes, like reduced sleep, increased obesity, language detriments, and social emotional delays. And so even just our development as we see like the newer generation in social skills, problem solving, critical thinking, it's just getting worse and the gap is just widening so much.
Absolutely. And actually I saw a study from Pew Research that talked about how 59% of teenagers said they had experienced some form of cyberbullying from social media. And so that's contributing to this narrative of not only just comparison and body image and all of these negative repercussions that come maybe not on purpose from social media, but also there are people on social media using it to tear people down even though they're seeking affirmation from that very platform.
Absolutely. And I also think that people in general aren't media literate, so it's hard to tell what's real and what's not real, and is this a fact or is this just some meme? It's hard.
For sure. A study actually looked into from the Daily Universe talked about how 82% of middle school students couldn't tell the difference between sponsored articles and real news, and that was even more prevalent with high school students that they didn't even bother to check. And so it just shows that as our generation is progressing, media literacy is getting worse.
I would even say adults have that problem too.
For sure.
I actually, again, from the same Pew Research study, it said 1 in 5 American adults use social media as their source of news. And so these people are getting their news and they're getting their election news and they're getting their political views from influencers on social media. And so their views may be warped, they may not be fact-based, and that really plays into this whole idea of media illiteracy. But unfortunately, we're out of time. Thank you so much to my guests, Allie and Anna Osment. Welcome back to AATV. I'm your host, Olivia. We'll see you next time.